Hello! I'm so happy you could join me. You know, one of the questions that I most often asked is, how do you manage to work as hard as you do and still maintain your health and energy? Well, let me start off by saying that I truly believe a realistic attitude and a positive state of mind have contributed greatly to my ability to maintain these priceless gifts. As a very young child, I was introduced to the most fundamental concepts of health and fitness by my mother, who took me along with her when she joined a group of women who met once a week in Regent's Park in London to practice movement and exercise. The group was called the League of Health and Beauty. And I guess those words have remained in my mind ever since. Health and beauty. Wonderful words to aspire to at any age. And I made this tape because I really want to share with you some of my thoughts and some of the truths that I've learned about staying healthy and active. I think that we can take certain measures now, and incidentally, it's never too late, to maintain a fluid, graceful movement through muscular strength and mobility in our joints. So, although I'm not a fitness expert or a dietitian, and certainly not a fanatic about any of this, I am vitally interested, as I'm sure you are, in finding ways to maintain a lifestyle that will allow me to continue to enjoy the things I did when I was younger. These days, there's a vast amount of literature available about health and diet and exercise, and I've done my share of research, as I'm sure that you have. And I've come up with some thoughts about fitness and health for women of all ages. In a moment, I'm going to show you how I prepare every morning by doing some gentle stretches. You don't need any special equipment or any sort of tricky outfit, just something comfortable that you can move in. Once I've loosened up, I then do a longer series of movements that keep me flexible and hopefully graceful and feeling a sense of freedom within my body. Altogether, the morning stretches and the movement routine take a good 30 minutes to do. If you have the time, you can do them all at once. Or you can do parts of the routines at different times of the day. The movements you will see on this tape are very fluid and easy. So, let's begin. I have a little routine that helps me to swing into action each morning. After I get out of the shower, I give myself a mini massage with aloe lotion. By doing this massage every day, I am literally staying in touch with my body. I can't help but be aware of whether or not I'm in shape. Once you've really examined your body, you have faced the moment of truth. Of course, we're all a product of our genetic heritage, and certain things we cannot alter. But I do think that self-acceptance is vital. Give yourself a break. There's something to like in everybody. I take these few moments to focus on the day ahead. I think about each demand that will present itself in the coming day, and I visualize myself meeting it easily and well. I remind myself that I'm going to try to live each moment with a sense of peace, harmony, and calm. After all, it is the dawn of a new day, and anything is possible. Let's begin with some morning stretches. I like to think of these as my way of greeting the dawn. Inhale, lift your arms, and exhale as you lower them. I'm only turning to demonstrate this move for the camera. You can do it in one position. Take one more. your knees and clasp your hands together, pushing down. Now lift up and stretch. Again. Now open your arms and reach to the side. Don't arch your back. Feel that nice long stretch through your waist. You know, the neck carries so much of our tension, so it's very important to warm up that area before we do more stretches. More loosening up for the neck. Sometimes my neck feels like a barn door when I do this. I make sure that my head doesn't fall backwards when I do it. Circle your shoulder loose and easy. Tension settles in this area too. I catch myself so often with my shoulders hunched if I don't watch it. Now circle it the other way. This next move is my own invention. I call it on-land swimming. It's really the breaststroke. It's just a great way to open up the shoulders and neck. The backstroke is another swimming move that I really love to do. Reach back and let your head turn and follow your arm. About this time, I'm beginning to feel a great sense of release and exhilaration, and with that comes optimism for a good day ahead. I make a concerted effort to banish any destructive attitudes I might have had about the day in front of me. You know, it's easy to fall into a negative trough saying, I can't do this or that won't work. I've learned a trick that I use. If I do have a negative thought, I quickly say to myself, cancel that. I'm going to expect the best. Any good-sized bath towel will do for this next stretch. Just gather it together and hold it firmly at each end like this. This is great for rounded shoulders. As you stretch, take it behind your head gently as far as you can. Turn your head to the side as far as it will go, and try to keep your chin level. This loosens up the neck, which we abuse all day when we talk on the phone or drive in traffic. Now imagine you're an archer with a bow and arrow. First one elbow down, reach on the diagonal, then the other. Go gently on this. It's a nice, slow twisting action. I love this stretch. I really feel as if I'm getting circulation going in the back of my neck and in my back. Now, if you have trouble getting your hands together in back, try using the towel. So, if you feel any discomfort in your back, don't bend very far. Find a spot to rest your hands at a comfortable height. A counter or the back of a chair would do. Start slowly bending your knees. Bring your chest toward the floor. As you come up, keep your arms straight. Keep your heels on the ground so you can feel a stretch in your calves. If this makes you dizzy, stop and only go part of the way. This helps to keep your back supple and strong. With all the dancing that I've done, you know balance is the key. And balance starts with the feet. Roll the feet as if you were giving yourself a foot massage, stretching the toes. Push off a bit from the floor. It's a bit like prancing. Now you can do this calf stretch anywhere, against the refrigerator or leaning against the wall. I do it whenever I think of it during the day. This is called the cat arch. Lift up, let your back arch, and then round your back. Lift, round. Now, as you finish, push back, keep your knees slightly bent, gently and easily roll up. Your head is the last thing to come up. Lovely. Now, if you have time to continue, I'll show you what I do. That's when I don't have to rush off to work. Spend about 20 minutes with me and we will stretch some more. And then have some fun with what I call feeling free. Some rhythmic dance-like movements to give ourselves a greater sense of balance and coordination. To me, this stretch is so satisfying. I love this stretch. I feel as if I'm stretching every muscle in my body. Stretching the body all the way down to one heel, as far as you can go. Relax. And then all the way down with the other heel. On the other side, stretching as hard as you can, pushing your heels down as you go. And reaching with your arm as far as you can. About 4 or 5 of these feel just great. I always think of knees up Mother Brown when I do this. Gently does it though. This may take a bit of easing into. Slowly let your knees drop, one side then the other. Inhale and allow your lower back to arch. And as you breathe out, draw your stomach in, pressing your lower back into the floor. Lift your back off the floor and arching, pressing your lower back into the floor. Keep your knees bent. Now lift the hips off the floor, hold it there for a moment, breathe out as you roll down. Lift, hold for a moment, breathe out as you roll down. Now you'll need a long sash or belt, anything that you may have that will support your leg. Place the sash around the ball of the foot. This move will help to keep flexibility in the legs and hips. Slowly push your leg out, about an inch above the floor. Now lift it up and hold for a minute. Gently circle the leg. This helps to increase mobility in your hip joints. Now point and flex. Point and flex. Change legs and repeat. Push and lift. lift. Hold the stretch. Now circle your hip easily. Again. Now reverse the circle. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point, flex. One more time. Now let go of the sash, roll over to one side with your knees bent. Open the arm and reach behind you. Back and forth. Try to keep your hand on the floor as you reach your arm out behind you. Turn your head and let your eyes follow your hand. This is a wonderful stretch. Circle your arm around. Reach with your arm. Circling around. Touching the floor with the tips of your fingers. One more time. Now on the other side. This is a wonderful stretch. Your body's rolling slightly with you. The other direction. Up and back and around. Sit as upright as you can, and if it's more comfortable, try putting a small pillow under your fanny. Legs apart, not too wide, just comfortable. Reach from the side, circle your arm, reaching, bringing up your other arm. Arms down to the side back, and lifting your chest. Now lift your head, being careful not to let it drop backwards. Rest is a great healer and energizer. If you're feeling under the weather, skip a day of exercising. Relaxation in a guilt-free mood will do wonders. Incidentally, this is a great way to rest. The back of a sturdy chair is good for this move. Stretching out through one hip, and then the other, and again, and again. And again. Now this move is for your tummy. Pull your tummy in. You can feel your tummy pulling in. And let it drop. Lift your leg. Holding your tummy in. Let it drop. Around this time, I usually feel an inch or two taller. You know, our feet and ankles take a beating in the course of a day, and circling them like this loosens them and gets the blood circulating. Now, you could do this all day, but just a few will help to loosen up the hips. Your leg doesn't have to be straight for this. Let your knee be bent slightly. Later on, we'll do it with the leg straight. You've seen dancers do this movement a lot, I know. I like it because it reminds me that I can exercise control over my legs, and it increases my sense of balance. I do have some arthritis, and there are times when it hurts me to walk, but I try not to let it show. And these stretches we've just done help me enormously. The standing ones I do whenever the spirit moves me. On the set, in my kitchen, anywhere I can swing my arms and legs safely. Now I'd like you to come along with me and enjoy just moving freely. When I was a child, I watched Fred Astaire, Eleanor Powell, Ginger Rogers, all the great movie dancers. The impression they made on me was so indelible that I found my body could literally translate what I remembered about them into movement. You can picture someone graceful in your mind's eye, then feel yourself moving as they do. Try to move easily, as I am, and don't worry about getting it just right. There's no wrong way to do these movements. Just feel free and loose and easy, and light, and hopefully graceful. When I first began dancing as a child, the Isadora Duncan school of Greek dancing was all the rage, and we would prance around wearing those funny little tunics. But I appreciate now that gracefulness was the most important element of that dancing, and graceful movements have continued to interest me. Oh, in the 60s I rocked with the best of them, but as I grew into myself, I went back to the movements that helped me to have good posture and move as if I didn't have a hurting joint in my body, which isn't always true. Shakespeare said all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. And isn't it the truth? Whatever we do in life, we make our daily entrances and our exits, our mental and physical attitudes expressing our opinions and moods to everyone that we come in contact with. Here's an example. I often illustrate a thought with a gesture, such as, have a piece of chocolate cake, or won't you have a seat? Instead of, have a seat. Because I truly believe the way we use our body language can make a tremendous difference to other people's reaction to us. And in some instances, it can actually be the difference between success and failure. Now, this technique works in the theater, so why not apply it to our everyday lives? If our bodies and minds can communicate warmth and strength, we're far more likely to succeed in keeping our heads above water and less likely to get bogged down in some of the garbage and aggravation of everyday life. I guess we all agree that walking is the greatest exercise in the world. If I'm forced to do something sedentary, such as studying lines or talking on the phone, when I've finished, I'll take a walk around the garden or just down the street, just to get myself moving again. Even a short walk can balance those parts of the day when you have to sit. Thank goodness walking doesn't require any special gear, just a pair of comfortable shoes. And if you live in the sun belt, sunscreen, that's very important. About 15 years ago, when I did Mame on Broadway, I put on quite a bit of extra weight. All the dancing that I was doing on stage wasn't enough. I guess it didn't make up for those big after-theater suppers I was eating. What helped me to lose the weight more than anything was that I began walking all over New York. And you know, when you walk to lose weight, it doesn't just come off the legs either. You'll find yourself getting trimmer all over. Before and after a good walk, try to stretch out your calf muscles, and they'll be less likely to cramp up and hurt you later. That feels good. Oh, I love to cat nap. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it really helps. I think women of a certain age who lead busy lives have to marshal their forces if they want to have energy for the things they enjoy, like running around with grandchildren. Isn't it extraordinary? The more you do, the more you can do. When you love what you're doing, or you know the work simply has to be done, you have a remarkable reservoir of power and energy. But all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, as the saying goes. So it helps me to balance the very intensive schedule that I keep with activities that don't require the same sort of concentration. For instance, gardening releases my mind from the tensions of the day. We all create our own kinds of stress, don't we? As we try to be good in our jobs, useful in our communities, and successful in our relationships. I find that if I do something physical, something that doesn't require very much thinking, it really helps to calm me. Sewing, you know, is an activity that requires a great deal physically, and I love it. It's so consuming. I once crippled myself by overdoing it, cutting out draperies on the floor. But if sewing isn't your bag, I mean, there are lots of other things you can do around the house, like mowing the lawn, or cleaning the car, or home decorating. I mean, refinishing a piece of furniture, painting, not pictures. Walls. Have you ever tried wallpaper? I did once in a house we used to have in Ireland. On the ceiling. I love to bake bread. I make one that we call Angie's Power Loaf. It's a yeast bread, and it's full of whole grains and the most marvelous things. And I love the way it makes the kitchen smell. Did you know that in researching the value of everyday activities, Doctors have proven that puttering is actually valuable for your health and contributes to your longevity. After a weekend of doing all kinds of physical things, by Sunday night I'm thoroughly tired out. When you're physically exhausted, it's delightful just to climb into bed and sleep that peaceful, deep sleep you experience after being very active. We're all the victims of a barrage of health and diet information. Every newspaper and magazine that you pick up tells you don't do this, do that. It can be so confusing. I'd like to pass on to you some of the conclusions that I've come to after many years of trying various ways to reach and maintain some kind of ideal weight. I'm comfortable at the weight I am now, but I haven't always been. A few years ago, after the first season of Murder, She Wrote, I got quite sedentary and overweight. Worse still, I kind of sunk into my expanded body, and I said to myself, well, this is the way I am. I'm of an age now, and I'm going to stay this way. Well, it didn't take me long to decide no. I didn't want to stay in that state. I want to look good and have a sense of pride in myself. I lost the 15 pounds in about 3 to 4 months, and I've kept it off. By making a habit of having fruit and cereal for breakfast, mid-morning I have an apple and a banana, both. And then for lunch, I have an enormous, really delicious salad sandwich with avocado, tomato, cucumbers, lettuce, or a great big salad. At dinner, I generally have, poultry, fish, and maybe 2 or 3 vegetables, and a tofu-based ice cream for dessert. How about that? So you can tell I'm not on a diet. Most diets simply don't work for me because I work up such an appetite doing what I do. The way I eat now, quantities aren't that important. And I know that it's okay to fall off the food wagon from time to time, knowing that makes it easier for me to eat sensibly 80% of the time. You know, bike riding is a lovely way to get around. For me, it provides one of the greatest feelings of release. It's like floating, feeling a breeze in your hair and no sound, just the whir of the bike wheels. Of course, I'm not talking about being hunched over a European racing bike with skinny little tires and a seat that feels like torture. No, there are wonderful new bikes out with sturdy, wide tires, upright handlebars, and a nice, wide, almost comfy seat. To tell you the truth, I cycle for pleasure. The fact that it's good exercise is incidental. Everyone says you never forget how to ride a bike, and that's true. But you can forget how much you used to enjoy it. One English custom that has stayed with me is having tea in the afternoon. I may be out for hours, but around 4:30 or 5, I come in and I sit down and enjoy the peace and quiet of a nice cup of tea with a cookie. Just a little one. Oh, incidentally, did you know that tea tastes better in a thin cup? It's true. I think a lot of the little ceremonies that we like to indulge in are really throwbacks to our childhood. I know that mine are. They are reminders of my mother and the way that she and my Irish grandmother did things. With certain ceremonies, we can recreate the security and comfort we felt as children. I'm surrounding myself with a sense of being cared for, even if I'm caring for myself. For most people, the lucky ones, childhood was a terrific time. And being mature doesn't mean that you have to let those memories go. Another great ceremony is taking a great bath. You can make it special with soft towels and fragrant oils. The idea is to turn something ordinary into something special. I think femininity and sexuality go hand in hand. It used to be thought that women lose interest in sex after menopause, but now we know that just isn't true. Obviously, both you and your partner are different than you were 30 years ago, but if you can accept the inevitable physical and other changes, you can keep romance in your life. I believe it's important for a woman to try and maintain a certain sense of mystery about herself, and I think that can continue to any age. It's so easy to give up or to get lazy. It's worth it to continue to present yourself as a woman of loveliness and dignity, a woman who feels good and knows she's looking her best. She'll continue to attract attention as a feminine, sexual person. The right kind of attention doesn't have to stop unless you want it to. I was never considered a beauty, but theatrically I can project the illusion of great glamour, even though I'm not a glamorous woman at all. When I give the illusion of glamour, I'm acting out the quality. I think women who aren't actresses can learn to emit a sense of glamour, health, energy, all these qualities that are so attractive and desirable in all women. I have friends who say they feel guilty if they spend time on themselves exercising. I feel the better you take care of yourself, the more you can bring to your relationships with your husband, your children, your grandchildren, all the people in your life. By being involved in life in a hopeful way, you reward yourself. And your enthusiasm is very compelling for others to be around. There are lots of things that I haven't had a chance yet to do in my life. I have so much to look forward to. And so do you.